We thank the third speaker from opposition and call on the opposition reply speaker to conclude their case.
Ladies and gentlemen, side proposition has lost this debate for two reasons. Firstly, because they didn't realize that we already pay tax and that while debating might be cool, it doesn't make an economy. But secondly, because as sweet as it is that the main benefit of their case has become making our society full of better people, that doesn't justify making people go a year without pay. That doesn't justify shirking the government's mandate and pushing it onto citizens. And it doesn't justify the opportunity cost to our economy. To show you why we've won this debate, I'm going to answer three questions. Firstly, is this harmful to people? Secondly, is this legitimate? And third, do we actually improve South Africa? So firstly, is it harmful? And here we give you three levels of analysis. Firstly, we tell you it's a year without pay. And that if you're one of the 65% of South African university students who are poor, that means a year not supporting your family. Secondly, we tell you that these people are unhappy, that an actuary isn't happy teaching maths, and that secondly, they're specifically not happy if they're being forced to go somewhere. We don't think just responding that they'll get over it was enough from Emma's speech. But third, we tell you there's a significant opportunity cost in the most valuable period of your life, that you can't build momentum. Now, to all of those, what have they said in this debate? Well, they've said two things. Firstly, we give them experience, so it's okay, and secondly, we change their mindset. Now, firstly, we'd say that in terms of experience, if this was genuinely valuable enough to those individuals to give them real value which recompensed them for a year of not being paid, they would do it. If it is worthwhile for a doctor to do it to gain competition over other people, they would be doing it in the status quo. Secondly, what we tell you is that when you're talking about people like actuaries, teaching someone how to be financially responsible isn't experience, so for all of those people, they've got no benefit. But then they tell us it's about changing people's mindsets. And here we'd say we want to do lots of things in society. We want to make people nicer, but that doesn't mean we can force them to go a year without pay while their family starves. Secondly, we tell you that it's not even going to do that. That it makes people antagonistic when they lose a year of their life. So ladies and gentlemen, we significantly harm the students. That is just the truth in today's debate. Secondly, is there an obligation? And here's where they've really shirked their burden aside proposition. But we tell you that firstly, we already pay tax. If you're rich, your parents have paid for you, and you will soon pay the full worth of your obligation to the government when you start earning. But they've ignored the poor, the people who they said the bursaries go to, because those people are the people we owe money to. Why do those people owe us things back? That's why Sam spent time justifying why you have to prove a university student owes you something, not just a taxpayer owes you something. But then there were three levels of unresponded to analysis. Firstly, that this is the government's mandate, and if they're failing at it when they've got enough money, they can't just force that onto people. Third, that there's a lack of uniformity, that we unfairly affect certain people while benefiting others. No response. Fourth, that education has become a necessity and that it's unfair to tax necessities. No response. The only thing that Emma managed to say was this is exactly like tax. Well, A, we already pay tax, but B, we can't just force people to give up anything when they owe us something. Because we said that even if we concede they owe you something, we can't give up their lives, their ability to earn. What we've got to do is take a little bit of their earnings through tax, while allowing them to feed their family. That's why tax works, but taxing your life doesn't. So, there isn't an obligation. But third, do we help our country? Now here, we say that even if they won this point, utility doesn't justify a policy. Because like I said, why not tax people 90%? Why not force a doctor to work 1 out of every 10 years in community service? Because that would work. But we don't do it. Utility isn't everything, they haven't fixed that. But also what we tell you is that there's some problems. Firstly, the real problem is supplies and inefficient delivery. Now, even if that assertion stands with their assertion that the problem is people, adding more people to a still inefficient system doesn't help. In fact, you get decreasing marginal utility, never rebutted. But they also never rebutted that these people are inexperienced and unhappy. That what that means is that they won't help, and that even if they're just doing something, all they're going to be doing is teaching debating instead of giving real skills. But lastly, they ignored our comparatives, that either of us only have a year, and that given that year, it is much better to put someone into the economy where they create jobs for the poor people than teaching poor people another language. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a simple truth in today's debate. They have not done enough to show you that we're actually going to fix our economy. They have not done enough to show you why we obligate people with no obligation. They have not done enough to show you why we don't harm individuals. I am proud to oppose.